This short walkthrough is to show you how to enter new content and create new articles using the Emergent Publications content management system. So the first thing we need to do, we want to log in to our administration account. So that's https journalemergentpublications.com/wp-admin. And I hadn't logged out from before, so it's logged me straight back in again. As this was a new account that I've just created, I'm still using the auto-generated password, which I can now change if I would like. But I'm more interested to hear how to enter a new article. So I'm going to click on Articles, and I'm going to add a new one. And this will take us to our article editor. Let me just close that so we get rid of that. Here we can see the content page, and the system requires articles to be entered in this format. It currently doesn't do importing of Word documents, but as I'll show soon, we can just cut and paste straight from a Word documents anyway, and it will save them and format them okay. So I'm going to create a new article. This one's going to be for a conference that I've not had it submitted yet. I've not submitted it yet, and I've not had it reviewed yet. So all I need to do here is provide a title, which I've done there. I have no subtitle there, and I'm just going to submit an abstract. And over here in a Word document, I have my abstract already written. I could have obviously wrote it directly into the editor here, but for this particular one, I had it written in Word first. So I'm just going to copy the various paragraphs from the Word document, and then go into my abstract, do Control V, and now you can see I have entered all the paragraphs. There's a few things need tidying up, so I want to click onto this paragraph and delete that to get rid of that empty one. If I come down, I can see I've got a load of extra points in here that I need to get rid of. And I can just scroll through. This window is rather small, so I might want to make it somewhat bigger, so I can use this draggable item here. As this is a browser, I can use the zoom on the browser facility. So if I do Control plus, as you can see, I can grow the browser content, and if I do Control minus, I can shrink it. So you can set it to the size that works for you. And really, if I'm just entering an abstract for a conference proceedings, I'm pretty much done here. For most of the conferences, you'll be asked to submit content through this facility. You'll be asked to provide a tag. So in this case, I'm going to submit this one to Compact 3. So if I type in Compact 3, I can see there's a tag here already that I can select, and I want to add that to my article. So this will help the organizers of Compact 3 recognize my content from all the other content on the server. So this is a very important step. If you do forget it, it's likely that we'll figure it out through email, but it will make life much easier for the conference organizers and editors and reviewers to locate your article if you put in this tag here. And for the purposes of this particular submission, I'm done. So if I can now save this. I can even preview it, although I've got very little content here. There's not much to look at. But here's the preview of my content as it is so far. So I just have the abstract that I created. Now, more often than not, abstracts don't have any real formatting. So you can see the formatting here is very basic, no referencing or anything like that. That's all saved for the main article. Now, if my abstract has been accepted, and the conference organizers or the journal editors are encouraging me to submit the full article, then I'll have to fill in these sections down here. One thing to point out, a few things to point out about this system is, firstly, it provides a complete audit trail of all the changes you make. So although people are used to writing in Word, once you get it into this system, it's very easy for you to collaborate with your co-authors, to edit and make changes on the fly. It's also very easy for editors and reviewers to add comments for you to review, so you can adjust your content if appropriate. So, and then a very important part of this is that the editors have been designed with the idea of electronic first approach to publishing. So although much of the content that's be entered through here will be also available in print, we're particularly keen on having it look good on mobile devices, so on phones and tablets. So you'll find that the content you can put in is perhaps more limited than what you can do on Microsoft Word, for example. Doing very complex tables doesn't really work if you want to be able to read this clearly on a phone. Doing various different types of backgrounds and bordering and this sort of thing that's easily done in print and easily done in Word, we don't make available through this editor. We want the content to look good on a phone and tablet. And in some of the print content, we might enhance some of the content, but the approach here is let's get the electronic version right, let's get it reviewed, let's get it polished and perfected, and then that can be published as is, and there's no other changes needed to do, and it can be published and made available to all account holders, can be distributed, can be linked on Twitter and Facebook, etc. Then when it comes to print, it will be automatically typeset, but we may have to do a bit of tweaking to make it look good. So just the short of that is that when you're working on your document, is to bear in mind we're trying to keep the layout as simple as possible, so that it can be so that it's presented well across many different devices as well as in print. So if we go to my article, we can see, an article is going to be built up from sections, and each section has a title and set of paragraphs. And if we just get going straight away, my first section, as is often the case, is introduction. I already have a paragraph that I had composed in Microsoft Word, so I'm just going to cut and paste that in. And here's my first paragraph, and if I press return, I get a new paragraph. If I press Control button down and return, I get a new section. Let's see what else we might want to do with this. So this is my first paragraph. There's no quotes in here, but I might want to add a reference at the end here. So here we go with a reference. I have no references stored so far, so I'm going to add a new one. The DOI search hasn't been set up yet, so you're going to have to type them in by hand, or as you say, you can cut and paste them straight from your Word document. Save that reference, select it, and insert the reference, and we can see here where the reference has been indicated. There's a space afterwards, sometimes gets inserted. I can clear that. I might want to add a quote to this sentence, to this paragraph. So here's my text, and I'm just going to enter simple quote. And we can add permissions for this if that's appropriate. Often it isn't for just short quotes in academic documents. And we can see my quote has been added here. We can do various tables, not inside a quote actually. So if we go to a new paragraph, let's see, I want a new paragraph in here, then I can add a table in there. I can add let's see, this one's the quote we've just done. We can add mathematics, so we have an equation editor in there. We can add special characters, we can do subscripts, superscripts, the usual, much of the usual stuff you can see already do in Word. We can insert an image, and if we go to an image, we end up with this pop-up where we can drag content onto here and then use that to insert it into our article or into our post. And that's about it, really. Once we've gone through all the process of building our document up, we save it again. If this was, in this case, this was for a journal, so it was, the journal editors can locate it and set a reviewer for it and provide comments and feedback. If it's going to be accepted, that will be done via email. And if it's a journal article, same process. We save it. It will be, you can submit it for review. Actually, this same as we would do for a conference paper, actually. So we'd submit for review. The editor would associate a reviewer with it, and after a certain period we'd have some comments and feedback. And again, even the reviewer will log straight into this same editor. They won't be changing it directly, but they can add comments to it so that all the review and all the updates occur in the same place. So by the end of this process, we should have a very polished, very ready for publication electronic version of the content, which we can build into websites, distribute to phones and tablets, as I've said before, and also export quickly into a format that we can develop print content from as well. And that's about it for now. If you have any trouble with content, you can send me an email at Kurt, K-U-R-T, @emergentpublications.com, and I'll try and help out. This is a new system. It's going to be getting better, hopefully, over time. This editing experience is obviously important for this to work. So that's the area where most improvements will be coming over the coming months.